Everyone in the courtroom noticed her before she spoke. Not because she was loud, not because she was emotional, but because she looked completely finished. The orange prison jumpsuit hung heavy on her shoulders. The tattoos told a story no one asked to hear. Her hands were folded on the table, locked together like they had been carved that way years ago. No shaking, no movement, just stillness. This was supposed to be a routine case, the kind that moves quickly, evidence already read, arguments already made. Most people in the room believed they already knew how this would end. The audience had settled into their seats expecting procedure, not surprise. The judge was already reviewing paperwork, pen moving steadily across the page. Nothing felt uncertain. The defendant hadn't reacted to anything. Not the charges, not the details, not the weight of what was being discussed. Her face stayed unreadable. No anger, no fear, just distance. The kind that makes people uncomfortable without knowing why. Silence followed her everywhere in that room. In court, silence is rarely calm. Silence usually means tension, denial, or fear. But this silence was different. It didn't feel defensive. It felt accepted, as if the outcome had already been processed long before anyone else caught up. When the judge finally asked if there was anything she wished to say, no one expected much. Most defendants either ramble, apologize, or say nothing at all. The courtroom leaned forward slightly, more out of habit than curiosity. She lifted her eyes just enough to be seen. Not to plead, not to challenge. Her hands didn't move. Her posture didn't change. And when she spoke, her voice didn't shake. She said only one sentence. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It didn't explain anything. But the moment it landed, something in the room shifted. The judge's pen stopped mid-page. Not slowly, not deliberately. It simply stopped. No one spoke. No one moved. The people sitting behind her exchanged glances they didn't understand. Some felt uneasy. Others felt something closer to regret. No one could explain why. The defendant didn't continue. She didn't add context. She didn't clarify. Her hands stayed folded. Her face stayed still. She had said everything she intended to say. Seconds passed. Long ones. The kind that feel heavier than words. In courtrooms, silence usually breaks quickly. A cough, a chair shifting, a voice stepping in. But this silence pressed down harder than any argument that had come before it. The judge finally looked up. Not with anger, not with authority, but with something closer to hesitation. That single sentence had changed how the case felt. Not legally, emotionally. What once seemed clear now felt incomplete. The facts hadn't changed. The evidence hadn't changed. But the way the story sat in the room had shifted. People began to realize something unsettling. This defendant wasn't trying to escape judgment. She wasn't fighting the outcome. She wasn't afraid of what came next. She had already accepted it. And acceptance in a courtroom can be more disturbing than denial. When proceedings resumed, everything continued as expected. The system moved forward. The courtroom followed procedure. But something invisible lingered. The kind of moment people carry with them afterward without being able to explain why. Some cases end with a verdict. Others end with closure. This one ended with a sentence that refused to leave the room. Long after the courtroom emptied, people would remember the silence, the folded hands, the way the judge paused, and how, for a brief moment, certainty disappeared. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing said in court isn't an argument. It's a sentence spoken by someone who already knows the ending. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories like this.